Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm out round our chipping green, and what I'm going to be discussing today is when to chip to when to pitch. So I'm going to try and give you some really clear pointers so you know you're choosing the right shot. For me, the right shot is always the simplest shot. So if the ground conditions are good enough to putt it, putt it. So yes, I'm off the green here, and I've got a bit of a ridge to go up, but if this grass was short enough, dry enough, it's middle of the summer, it's consistent enough, I haven't got a problem with trying to putt this golf ball. The next easiest option is putting, but putting with a hybrid club or a fairway wood. So we've got something with a little bit more loft in our hands rather than just putting with a 3.5, 4 degree putter, putting with something that's got more like 20 odd degrees. If we needed to get it a little bit airborne to start with, then rolling and releasing. Our next easiest option is chipping, hitting a chip and run. And I get a lot of people get confused between chipping and pitching. And it's not really just the distance we're hitting it. I'm going to go a little bit further into that in a second. For me, more of it is the method, the technique. So a chipping action, I'm playing the ball back in my stance. My sternum is forward, my handle is forwards. I'm de-lofting the golf club, trying to make sure that I hit the ball first. We're taking loft off the club, yes, and we are going to see a slightly lower ball flight. When I'm chipping, I'm use a variety of clubs. So I would vary the club rather than varying the swing length. And I've done some videos on chipping before, so I'll put a link in this video. Check that one out too, about club selection, what to know or when to know what club to use. So chipping, as I said, is ball back, handle forwards, sternum forwards, more of a chip and run. Whereas pitching for me is we're trying to use the loft on the club, the bounce on the golf club as much as possible. So we're playing everything much more central in my stance, under my sternum, and my handle of the club is more level. So we're using all the loft on the club and using the bounce. So in this situation, what I've decided is that I need to be landing the ball actually onto the green. I've got a ridge in front of me. I don't want to land the ball into the slope, into the ridge. I could potentially land the ball a little bit short of the green here, but it's autumn now. The sun's just come out, in fact, which is nice. But when the ground conditions are a little bit wet, a little bit inconsistent, we're trying to land the ball onto a consistent surface if possible, which would actually be more onto the green. So for me, when I am chipping, hitting that first shot that we discussed of the two, the chip and run, I'm not using any wrist action whatsoever. Okay, so the club can only get to about as high as my knees. And I don't care what club you're using, the ball isn't going to fly more than 15 yards. So I've tried this with a lot of golfers when I'm coaching them, and it ranges from about 10 to 15. In a chipping action from here to here, without using any wrist action, the ball isn't going to fly more than 15. So if you've got to fly the ball more than 15 yards, we can no longer chip. We are moving into a pitch shot. So that's one of the reasons we would change from a chipping to a pitching action, is having to fly the ball more than about 15 yards. The other thing, and I'm not going to go too much into this, but for me, during the summertime, on a chip and run action, so with that ball back, handle forwards, my 52 degree wedge is my 50-50 club. So it'll fly half the way and roll half the way. In the winter, that club changes to a pitching wedge. My 47 degree ends up being my 50-50 club. And I work on it varying 10% per club. So let's say we're in winter time and my 50-50 club is my pitching wedge. My gap wedge is going to therefore be more in the air, less on the ground. And for me, it varies by about 10% per club. And as I said, I find this works with all golfers. So the 52 degree becomes my 60-40. My lob wedge, my 58 degree, becomes my 70-30. But on this shot here, trying to land the ball on the green, as I said, I'm going to be landing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to land the ball in and around that landing circle there. That's my sort of rough aim, about a yard on the green, and I've got to stop it 1, 2, 3 yards. So it's flying 9, it's rolling 3. So I can't hit a chip and run to this because it's going to release too much. Okay, and I'll just demonstrate that. I'm going to hit a chip and run and try and land it about a yard on the green. So ball back, sternum forwards, handle forwards. There we go. Oh, it managed to hit my GoPro. So that one landed bang on in the circle, but it's releasing too far. It's actually stopped it a little bit quicker than it would have done with the GoPro there. But that ball was going to be releasing on around 3-4 yards beyond the flag, beyond the hole. So it's going to leave me a 9-12 foot putt. So to stop that ball quicker, I need to elevate it more. So this is why I'm being forced into this situation into a pitch rather than a chip. If the flag was further away or the green started closer, I'd definitely go with a chip and run action. But in this particular shot, I want to fly the ball over the ridge. I want to fly the ball actually onto the green, and I've got to stop it quicker. So therefore I am pitching rather than chipping. So the two reasons I pitch rather than chip is if I've got to fly the ball more than 15 yards, or if I've got to stop the ball quicker than 70-30. Okay, so if it needs to spend 80-90% of its journey in the air, I can no longer chip. I'm being forced more into a pitching action. So let me try that one. So I'm going to move the ball more central, handle more central. The swing length is getting a little longer because the energy is actually sending it more upwards rather than forwards. So everything more central under my sternum, handle level, and it's a pitch shot now. So I'm really using the loft and using the bounce. That was really unfair. It landed perfectly. It actually landed on the target circle, as you'll have seen, and it kicked it on. You'll have seen the difference in trajectory there between the chip and the pitch. The pitch was obviously going to stop quicker. I just got a little unlucky, forcing myself into hitting another shot here. Let's try one more. I'm not sure I can land it any better than that. So everything central. Use the loft, use the bounce. Landed about a yard long, just past the target circle, but you can see, apart from the direction being a little bit off, the distance was pretty close. So that ball is only around 4 feet beyond the hole. It's a little bit wide as well, but it's only about 4 feet or so beyond the flag. So it's going to leave the ball closer in this particular situation. They're the real differences for me between a chip and a pitch. Always go for the simplest option. Okay, so if you can putt, putt. If you can't putt, you're chipping. If you can't chip, you're pitching. Lob shots are the last real option there where we've got to elevate it. Always think of the simplest option. For me, the reason I pitched this shot rather than chipping it isn't that I had to fly the ball more than 15 yards, it's that I had to stop the ball quicker than a chip and run would do for me. I hope that video's helped. I hope that's cleared up when to chip and when to pitch. It's something I find amateur golfers get wrong or confused with quite often. Indecision around the green is generally going to lead to bad shots. So make sure you're positive on the shot you choose so you can go ahead and execute it. If you did enjoy the content of the video, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel for free. There's plenty of other content every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30. Thanks guys, we'll speak to you soon.